If Hollywood's depiction of love is the reason why you fantasize and desire love relationships, abort mission. Hello everyone, you're welcome once again to my channel. I am Felix, Odofin, and you're welcome to Felix Authors. If this is your first time of joining this channel, I would implore you that you click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification so that you will not miss out from subsequent videos. And if you've been with me already, you're welcome once again. You know I am so glad to have you, and I'm privileged to have you too, and I'm also grateful to have you. You're welcome to this channel, and I hope you've been getting some value from my videos. That's the whole point of this channel, so that we'll be able to speak about issues regarding faith and relationships. Today is quite interesting because we'll be speaking about relationships yet again. Today we'll be speaking about reasons why you shouldn't go into a relationship. There is a previous video that you would see in the description box that you can go back, where I spoke about 5 reasons why relationships fail. Today we'll be speaking about the reasons why you shouldn't go into a relationship. And there are 9 reasons why you shouldn't go into a relationship. Might I remind us once more that, or remind us again, that this channel is based on faith and relationships according to God's view. I think I need to make that point clear. And that's also the basis for the reasons why you shouldn't go into relationships. And number 1 on the list, don't go into a relationship if marriage is not in view. Don't. I mean, it's that becomes so crazy whereby people get into relationships for every other reason but marriage. Sometimes you hear people say, because it doesn't mean you have to marry because you're going into a relationship. You might just want to go into a relationship for blah, 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 this reason, that reason, this reason. But not marriage, or marriage is like, hopefully it gets to marriage. I don't know where that mindset got. Well, I know where it came from. It came from the world. It's not a Christian mindset. And so if you call yourself a Christian, you have to put your mouth where your money is. You are a Christian, and the whole point of love relationships is marriage. It is marriage. So there is really, it makes no sense. I mean, first, the fundamental difference between every kind of relationship and a love relationship is the point of sex, sexual expression. And so if our standard for living is not just about what we do, but what we think, if our sinning or not sinning begins from the mind, then we cannot toil with it. So even if you're in a relationship and you say we are not doing anything there and everything, but are you thinking about stuff? Are you lusting after your significant other? Are you struggling with it? Probably you even have such struggles and you're going into a relationship to even cause more problems for yourself. He said, don't make provision for the flesh. The Bible talks about what? Fleeing every appearance of evil. The Bible talks about what? Guarding your hearts, your minds. The Bible talks about what? Doing everything that is necessary to be able to what? Walk rightly or walk in the spirit, so that you will not fulfill the desires of the flesh. You cannot bring something close that would inhibit or affect your living rightly as a Christian. And so when we talk about relationships and it must be marriage in view, we are saying it for your good. The Bible is clear. It's our standard for faith and practice. If you want to go into a relationship without marriage in view, you know fully well that you are preparing yourself for anything that comes that is not the result of a right mind towards relationship. The only right mind towards love relationships is marriage. So if that's not in your mind, don't go into any relationship except you'll be deceiving yourself if you say you're a Christian because of the struggles, except I am putting it to you that you cannot avoid the struggle with sexual temptation if you are in a relationship without marriage in view. When I mean view, that is the plan. It is like you are. In fact, you're getting into a relation. In fact, the Bible doesn't really talk about relation where we stay. It's about courtship. You are courting because you have seen someone you want to get married to and all that, and you get into what? And you get married. You plan and you get married. Joseph, Christ's earthly father, Mary was already betrothed to him. It was clear. There was nothing like doing long-term relationship. Many times you get married, and so there was nothing like that. There was nothing like that. And so many things people say, how will I know? How will I just say I want to marry? Many of the things that you want to find out about relationships, you can already find out in normal friendships. I don't know where we got that mentality. Like, how will I know how the person does this or thinks about this? Or if I don't get in a relationship to learn more about each other. Except for sex, every other thing you need to know, you can know in the context of friendship. That's number one. Number two, if you want to go into a relationship for the sake of experience, hold it there. For the sake of experience, hold it there. At least from the first point is already abundantly clear that that's a very useless reason to get into a relationship. For the experience, what do you mean by experience? Is it experience in knowing how to treat a woman or experience in knowing how to treat a man? I would be very, very concerned if you don't know how to treat a fellow human being first. I would be very concerned if you don't know how to treat a woman, generally speaking, or a man, generally speaking. I would be concerned that you have to be in a relationship to learn how to do that. So what experience? If it is not that, if it is not about I want to learn how to speak effectively, if you are speaking effectively or communicating well within your other relationships that are not love relationships, you don't need an extra stuff when it comes to somebody else. Adam and Eve, what kind of experience did they have? Even sexual experience, how did they were married before they started any experiences. You don't know, there is a joy that comes in learning each other, the exploring each other, not having some kind of baggage in your mind that you have to begin to project on one another and put yourselves under pressure or even some kind of temptations and dark desires. For the experience, please cut it. Don't go into any relationship. For your good. Number three, do not go into a relationship because you want to go because most people that you see in relationships seem to be happier than you that you are single. I think it's very obvious. We see what's happening in society. There's more to things than meets the eyes. And you see that it is a very wrong understanding. It's a very wrong motivation to wanting to go into a relationship because you feel that people are happier in a relationship than you who are single. It's a faulty mentality. It's a faulty mindset. Because that's not true. That is not true. Number four, you want to get a relationship because you want to have sex with someone whom you love. As a Christian, I don't think I need to talk about that. Premarital sex is a sin, full stop. I don't even need to it's when the act you're talking about. You're already seeing it from the mind. That's already a standard. The world can even pretend and say, you can even say you're not having sex or whatever, but in your mind, you are already defiled. Oh, I'm a virgin, but in your mind, you are worse than the one who is not even a virgin. So, I don't want to waste time on this point. You want to get, some people will say, okay, rather than just have sex like a prostitute, either male or female or whatever, you let you sleep with anybody, let me have someone who I truly love, then I can have sex with the person. That shouldn't even be a language of Christians. It shouldn't. Don't think about it if that is why you want to go into a relationship. Number five, you want to get into a relationship because you want to test the waters with partners so that you can now know which one you settle for. I think I don't want to belabor the same points that I've made in previous points about the one wanting to go into a relationship because of experience. Now you want to test the waters. That's a very, very unchristian way to see relationships. Relationship with the intention of marriage is a beautiful thing, and it is something that should be exclusive to someone. Now, this is this kind of mentality the mentality of wanting to test the waters, that you see people, by the time they now finally settle, they would have had lots of baggages that they take even into the marriage, and it begins to affect the reality, their marriage reality. It is first and foremost unhealthy, second unchristian, and third, it is you setting up yourself for disaster sooner or later. That is a very stupid, a stupid mindset. Testing the waters. Adam and Eve, how many people, who did they test with to know who they will finally settle with? First you should marry from the household of faith. Period. Do not be unequally yoked. Period. So if you are testing water, what do you mean by testing waters? It's something that I struggle with, because it's something that is not founded on biblical understanding of what relationships or even marriage should be. Let us kill that. Kill that. Number 6, if you want to go into a relationship and words like, or ideas, concepts like accountability, selflessness, boundaries, sacrifice, these words they make you shiver, or you are so irritated by the words, or you feel turned off by such concepts. I put it to you that you are not made for relationships. You are not made for even marriage. And that sounds weird if you say you're a Christian and first and foremost, selflessness is not something you are at home with. Accountability, sacrifice are not things that you're at home with. And you're a Christian, not even talking about relationship. But all those things, it seems like you feel restricted, boundaries, those things are strange to you. Please avoid relationships. Avoid. Or else you'll be burned. You will. Number 7, if you want to go into a relationship because you want to feel loved, that's first and foremost selfish. Don't go into a relationship. Going into a relationship, a Christian goes into a relationship, onto marriage, with the mindset of selflessness. What are you doing? What are you giving? Not what are you getting. You are preoccupied with what you want to do. You are not preoccupied with what you want to get. Wanting to feel loved is first and foremost setting yourself up for what? Disaster, for failure, for disappointment. Because it's also a fellow imperfect person that you are getting married to, or that you're going to go into a relationship with. Kill it. Number 8, if your happiness is your primary pursuit in going into a relationship, please abort mission. It is one of the top reasons why people go into a relationship and why people run or dump their significant other. Say, what's the point of this relationship when I'm not happy? I'm not here to suffer or whatever. Please, that's first and foremost a very unchristian mindset. It is a very selfish mindset, and it's also an unrealistic mindset. If you're going in a relationship is because you want to be happy, then it's the same reason why you would want to get out of that relationship, because you will not always feel happy. And I'm saying it, if your source of happiness is derived from your significant other, you will be disappointed. You will be disappointed. And it's also selfish. It's selfish because that is your pursuit. It's about what you want to get and not what you want to give. You will see that there's been something consistent about what I've been saying about giving, selflessness. If those things are alien to you, if those things, because of so many failed relationships that we have faced or we have found or we have experienced, we now want to dump these fundamental things. You don't dump important things because you see failures in relationships. Rather, you hold on to them and cherish them. It is the ignoring of those things that have caused what we are facing today. Yeah. Lastly, number 9. If Hollywood's depiction of love is the reason why you fantasize and desire love relationships. Abort mission. You will be disappointed. You will be. I mean, if it is realistic, I mean, our Hollywood actors will be, you'll be seeing left, right, center, lots of happily ever after. Apart from the fact that many of them are not even believers, but for those who even say that they want to love forever and everything, at least we will see it in reality. But it is directly opposite that we are seeing. I need you to know that there is no such thing as Hollywood's depiction of love. There is no such thing. So if it is what drives you into going into marriage, I see even when it comes to weddings, when it comes to proposals and all that, you see people, that kind of, this kind of, now, that kind of, man, this is just so beautiful. It's really a beautiful thing, wedding ceremonies, these things are so wonderful. But let me say the truth. If you want to go into a relationship and what your understanding of love is what Hollywood has fed you, you will be disappointed. And so because I don't want you to be disappointed, I would rather you get to learn what true love or the true meaning of love is and what is required when it comes to being in a relationship unto marriage before you even consider getting into a relationship. I beg you, these 9 points are too important. And if these are the reasons why you want to go into a relationship, abort mission. In subsequent videos, we'll be treating other issues about what to look out for or what to be if you have to have a blissful, thriving relationship. By the way, I have a book that I wrote about 2 years ago called The Dark Horse of Love Relationships. There are links on the description that would guide you to any of the platforms where you can get a copy of the book and read. And if you don't want to, it's fine. But the point is these 9 things, whether the book is bought or not, these 9 things are important. They are important for you to know that if this is what you have as a mindset, don't go into a relationship, or else you will add to the statistics of failed relationships sooner or later. Subsequent videos will address even more important and interesting things about relationships, as I've said already. Thank you for joining me.